It started on a quiet street no one remembers until the lights flashed red and blue. A man was lying still beside his own shadow, the rain sliding across his jacket as if trying to wake him. The officer's body cam blinked, recording every second, cold, unblinking, mechanical truth. What it captured wouldn't just change a family. It would change a town that had long believed silence was safer than truth. That night, he was just trying to get home. But the body cam would soon tell the story no one wanted to believe. Derek Lewis was the kind of man everyone waved to but few really knew. He worked the late shift at a small printing shop near the old highway. Every night, around the same time, he'd clock out, tuck his earbuds in, and walk home through Maple Street, a shortcut he'd taken for years. Maple Street had its moods. Some nights it was peaceful, the air thick with the smell of pine and rain. Other nights it felt like the world watched from behind curtains. But Derek didn't mind. He was saving for his daughter's college, counting each day until he could move his family somewhere quieter, somewhere safer. That night was colder than usual. His phone battery had died. He slipped it into his pocket and adjusted his jacket against the wind. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked. A car slowed near the curb, headlights washing over him for too long. He turned slightly, just enough to see the shape of a patrol car easing to a stop. No sirens, no call on the radio, just quiet curiosity or something else. Derek kept walking. A part of him wanted to believe it was nothing. But deep down, he knew how nights like this could turn. The dash cam caught the cruiser's slow roll. No commands, no warning, just the faint crackle of static and a voice saying, "Let's check him out." Derek didn't hear it. He was a block away from home when the spotlight hit him, freezing his shadow against the wall. He raised a hand instinctively to shield his eyes, heart suddenly pounding. He'd seen this scene before, too many times on the news, too many names turned into hashtags. The body cam clicked on. The officer's boots splashed through puddles as he approached. "Evening, sir," a voice said off camera, but the tone carried weight, suspicion wrapped in politeness. Derek nodded, stepping aside, trying to stay calm. His backpack felt heavier than usual, though it held nothing but old work gloves and a lunch container. The second officer circled to his left. Derek could feel his pulse rise. He wanted to explain. He lived just up the road, he worked nights, he wasn't causing trouble, but his throat tightened. The camera caught the tremor in his hands. The rain picked up, small droplets streaking across the lens. Something shifted in the air, small, invisible, irreversible. A motion misunderstood, a tone misheard, a moment that spiraled faster than reason. The footage later would show only fragments. An arm raised, a flashlight dropped, a voice shouting, the blur of panic and movement. Neighbors heard noise but stayed inside. One woman peeked through her blinds, saw the lights, and whispered, "Not again." When backup arrived, the street was silent. The officers stood apart, their radios crackling, their faces pale. Derek lay still, his groceries spilled into the gutter, milk washing into the drain. By morning, his name was another headline. His daughter's backpack sat by the door, waiting for a father who would never walk in again. Weeks later, the footage surfaced, not through official channels, but leaked by someone who couldn't keep quiet anymore. The town's police department had called it a tragic misunderstanding, but the body cam told a different story. It showed hesitation where there should have been calm, fear where there should have been judgment. It showed a man trying to comply, raising his empty hands, and two officers caught between training and bias, between control and conscience. There was no weapon, no aggression, only confusion and fear mirrored on both sides, but with consequences that would never be equal. The footage paused on Derek's face, eyes wide, lips parted as if about to speak, rain glistening on his cheek. It froze there, an image that would replay in news cycles, protests, and memories. And as the public watched, the truth became harder to bury. People who'd once said, "That doesn't happen here," stopped talking. For the first time, silence felt like guilt. The camera had captured what words couldn't. Not just a moment, but a pattern. A reflection of a country that still struggled to see color without judgment. Derek's family moved away months later. The house on Maple Street still stands, porch light flickering at night like it remembers him. His daughter, Maya, keeps a framed photo of him on her desk, a reminder not of loss, but of the truth that once hid behind closed doors. The officers resigned quietly. No charges, no trial, just a press release and another promise of reform. But the footage, once leaked, never forgotten, took on a life of its own. Played in classrooms, protests, documentaries. It became a mirror, forcing a nation to look at itself. People debated, argued, moved on, but not everyone forgot. Some still visit the spot where Derek fell, leaving candles, handwritten notes, or just standing in silence. The world didn't stop. It never does. But sometimes, the smallest light, a blinking camera on a rainy night, can show more truth than an entire courtroom. He never came home that night, but his story did. It reached places he never could, whispered through screens, shared by strangers, and remembered by those who finally dared to see. The question that lingers isn't what happened, it's how many more times it must happen before the world truly listens.